Going to do a comparison with Project Cars 2, which is now I've added a force feedback plugin called Christian Pure's force feedback file. It's a custom force feedback file which Project Car allows by default. It's version 1.06. I'm going to do a comparison today with Project Cars 2. Use a time trial where all the tires are up to temperature. Well, you know what? Let's go back to just a quick play private test. We're going to do a Corvette C7R GTE on Imola. Weather is going to be summer. Time progression, I'm going to say real time, start time. Do it at 1 p.m. Then July 1st, weather slot. We'll do a sunny day. And we're not comparing graphics. We're not doing any of that. I think Assetto Corsa's graphics were fine for its time. It's really nice. You get really high frame rates very easily. Low-end PC specs. But those of us who have upgraded to better graphic cards don't have that problem. But it's just something to note. I'm just comparing a little bit of the physics and some of the force feedback. Frames per second is at the top of the screen. I have a time of day. My time of day is 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday. My tuning settings right now are as follows: 21.6 psi, 20.02 psi, brake pressure 88, brake balance 60-40, front duct 70-75, 75-75, downforce 0, rear downforce 3, and you can pause the screen and look through it. Caster angle 7, camber angle -4, ride height 59 millimeters, spring rate 200, so on and so forth. You guys can hit pause, YouTube, go through my setups. I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference on the handling for what I'm trying to show on force feedback. Traction control is reduced to 30, ABS is increased to 75, and I'm not sure what I've changed here, if at all. We got limited slip differential clutch on. Clutch is 8, power ramp is 85, so I don't spin out all the time. Spooling's off, but again, you could pause it and take a look. And what you need to watch is the steering wheel. I'm going to have the forces on, and you'll be able to watch it in the lower left graph. The tires are cold right now. The graphics are beautiful as usual. Felt the grass. Feel the curbs. The car end lift up. Feel that curb. I can feel that curb, and you can watch the steering wheel as it fluctuates. You can watch the graph. Even when your front end loads up, you can feel the suspension load up as you're turning. You can let off and feel it load up. Again, the tires are very cold. Feel the tires slip around that hill. Feel it let loose or oversteer. Feel the hill climbs. Elevation changes. Feel the rear end. You can feel the front end simultaneously, which is quite amazing. feel these curbs run on lift up. All of this while the steering isn't balanced, starts to do this cycle resonation like everything else does. And that's the nature of the beast, I guess. I'm sure there's a way to reduce that. We're not comparing lap times or anything, or performance on the cars. Want to get a similar default car off the game. I know Assetto Corsa is lovely, where you can install modded cars easily. Just keep adding and adding and adding to never-ending fun. Problems that happen with that as well, where online races may not have the same cars, so like a default game, kind of like Assetto Corsa Competizione, has all the same GT3 cars, which gives them a level platform, level playing field, no chance of hacks in there. I can tell you the force feedback is heavy. Right now you can feel the tires as you stop the car, and you're loading the tires on the pavement, and you can see the front end of the car moving some. You can feel that. And then as you drive, it's lighter. And you should be able to see that in the graph as well, I suppose. Tires warm. One thing this really does, besides a really good feel of the front end and the back end, the Project car always has a real good feel of the back end of the car, what the back end of the car is doing, which I really don't think any other sim does this as well. Project cars too. Now you have both front end, back end feel. You can really tell what the car is doing. If the car, you're giving it too much throttle, back end's coming around. You got oversteer around the corner. Feel exactly what the suspension does. And not every car is perfect in Project Car. There's some shit cars, but you can develop your own list. GT3s, GTEs are really good. GT5s, GT4s, most of them are really good. A lot of the older Lotuses are very good. But there's plenty of cars to enjoy on the standard install. The tracks are beautiful, the graphics are beautiful, everything's pretty damn consistent. I think they just tried to shovel in way too many cars that hadn't been gone through, maybe carried over from Project Cars 1. But you can feel that dip in the road. You can feel the elevation changes when you need to. When you're putting on the brakes. So putting on the brakes and the steering goes with it. You can watch the brake trace on the right. That's the red. You can see the force feedback changing in the graph. I do that, and I can feel that in the steering wheel. And I'm playing with the force feedback settings here and there, learning a lot. What Project Cars is trying to do in the background. Feeling all the dips and elevations of the road, which is amazing. A lot of the cars, the brake settings are a little bit harsh on the cars. Default. The default setups aren't the best, but they're okay. A couple of things you might want to tweak. Braking is one of them. The percentage of brake, it's usually set at 90%. I like to set it down to 80% really, most of the time or less. Where you can hammer on the brakes until you learn your brake positioning, as well as the brake bias. So I have a setup on my steering wheel brake bias setting, so I can adjust that on the fly. But the same physics come into play on Project Cars, Assetto Corsa. I still see some quirks in all of them. I'd say Project Cars 2 has the fewest. It's not perfect. But with everything it adds, it's quite amazing. Just gonna pause it, go to the menu, and show you force feedback settings. I think the volume is a little bit too high. Seeing a little bit of clipping there, but it's a custom file. Volume 65, tone 50, FX at 40. Spring is just for the menus. It really doesn't matter. And just to go through my wheel settings, I'm going to exit Project Cars. I'll keep hitting the menu buttons while I'm going through these things. Get Assetto Corsa on. I got 330 on the wheel. Rotation, force feedback, 100. ABS is at 25. I really don't think that does anything. Drift is off. Force is 120. Spring is off. A dampener, DPR is at 30. FEI at 10. AP is, I don't think that matters, but it was at BT. I really don't know what that stands for. I think that has something to do with the paddle shifting. And then I'm going to switch it over to my setup number 5, which was working really nice with the Assetto Corsa. I'll launch Content Manager. Here we have the Corvette C7R. Similar as we can. It's a the default car that comes with Assetto Corsa, or at least maybe with one of the add-on packages. Mola, I have the Mola with, I think they just changed the colors of the curbing and whatnot. I don't think it really changes anything. launch that and see how we go. See, we could look at the settings, Corsa, controls. Access patch, force feedback, here we go. Gain is at 100. Is at 0. Minimum force is at 0. Effects curbing is at 10%. Road effects 10%. Slip effect 5%. ABS 0. Enhance understeer effect is on. Soft lock is off. Skip for FFB step 0 is at 0. Pulse processing. Center boost gain 0. Center boost range 10%. Enable force feedback post processing is off. Dampener gain, I think that's turned off. Experimental, be careful. So that's all grayed out. So let's launch this. This is the weather is clear. Track is at optimum. Deal conditions. We're just on practice. Do you guys see anything that I'm doing differently that should make this closer or better, or that I'm biased towards one or the other? I'm just trying to get and make the best sim for me as possible. I think they're both fantastic sims. I do play Project Cars 2 quite a bit more, but I love the ability to do burnouts, pretty much at will on Assetto Corsa here. Felt the bumps, they felt great. One thing that I do like about Assetto Corsa is the balanced feelings. I'd say the curbs are a little bit more pronounced and more detailed in Project Cars with the custom force feedback file. Now we got to go into a limp mode where we're sliding, understeer, sorry. Go really loose there. Don't really feel the elevation changes. And if it is there, it's ever so slight. Doesn't really help. It does help on braking. I don't feel the front end at all with the braking. Feel the front end loading up on braking whatsoever. I feel it braking loose. It's a nice effect. And you can see it's broken loose, so the steering there's limp almost. You can see the gray force feedback bar on the trace. The bottom left of the screen. Oh, you can't see that. Let me see if we can change this. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to turn off my camera. Off. Heart monitor. You can see the trace. I don't feel my front end loading up at all. take the cursor off the screen for us. Feels good. It feels very good. I just see so much of a big difference with that custom force feedback file in Project Cars 2 that it's something that's been ignored. Now all those bumps kind of feel canned, if you will, with the matches the dashboard shake that's going on. It almost feels canned. More arcadey in my opinion. Now, I don't even know how to do setups on Assetto Corsa, so definitely haven't changed anything from the default setups. I think you could get on the throttle a lot sooner in Assetto Corsa. The back end doesn't take off on you. I think the brakes are a lot easier, more forgiving for lockup. I think it's an easier sim to drive. I can't say which is more realistic, but to me, it almost seems like Project Car might be a little bit more realistic. That was nice and heavy all the way through there. Feeling the verge where it's gonna start breaking loose, understeer. Got on the throttle a little bit too early. Back end took off a bit. Didn't have enough information, I don't think, to catch it. But I'm not the best either. Could be a user error. You can see I'm getting over 200 frames per second, and I'm not sure what kind of custom shaders I have installed with the content manager. I don't. Maybe it looks kind of the same as it ever was. Looks nice. Just has flat Sega trees. Some of the textures are a bit low, but I think it's fantastic. I think some of the sounds are done really well in both sims. Sometimes one edges out the other. Didn't get any modulation from the grass surfaces or dirt surface. I felt the elevation change on that when I was cutting the corner in the grass. Same with that. Just a suspension change. But I don't get a suspension change when the front end is loaded up and steering until it locks up. That's one thing Project Car does so good, and it's hard to beat. Here I'm gonna just go through my wheel settings on here. I have 360 for rotation, force feedback of 82, SHO off, ABS off, drift off, force 100, spring off, DPR or dampener I believe is off, FEI is 50, AP is CBP, and that's all the Fanatec wheel settings I have. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. If you have different opinions, see it's something I did wrong, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.